Hi, gorgeous ones. Today I want to talk to you about boundaries and why women and girls find it so difficult to set and maintain healthy boundaries that dictate how other people will or will not interact with them in a healthy way. Now, when I talk about boundaries, what I mean is the invisible line that you draw around yourself that is in alignment with your values, your morals, or your ethics, and how you believe you should be treated and how you will treat other people in return. Now, those boundaries dictate how people will interact with you on an emotional level, on a verbal level, on a physical level. And these boundaries apply in your intimate relationships, they apply in your family relationships, the ones you have with friends, in a business situation, and even the ones that you have with complete strangers. Your boundaries are something that you set up for yourself to make sure that you are looked after and that your needs for how you safely operate in the world are protected. Now, boundaries are super important, but what I see as I move through the world is that women and girls are notoriously bad at setting and maintaining these boundaries for themselves. Now, remembering these boundaries are different for every person because they align with what is right for that person. And every person has different values, different ethics, different morals. Whatever kind of language feels right for you to use, you have your own set of guidelines, if you will, for how you move through the world and what is and isn't okay in how you are treated. But women and girls do not set and maintain boundaries effectively. And there's a few reasons for this. A lot of it comes from when we are young children growing up in the world and we're just starting to work out how to navigate this place that we find ourselves in. Now, in an ideal situation, when you are a young girl, your parents and other influential adults in your life are going to be saying to you, you can set healthy boundaries for yourself around how you will and won't be treated. And it is okay for you to call out and name behaviour that makes you feel unsafe. But too often, we're not told that, and it's not modelled to us by other women, and we don't feel like we have permission to do it. So instead, we move through the world with this cultural construct that we have to be nice, and if someone offends us, we have to take the higher ground. And ultimately what happens is women and girls will do a few things when our boundaries are impinged on. And by that I mean when our boundaries are stepped over by someone else. What will happen is sometimes you will freeze. And you'll often hear about this occurring when a woman is in a situation or a girl is in a situation with a boy or a man, and the man steps over a line. And we start to feel unsafe. And often what happens in this situation is girls and women will freeze. They collapse inwards. And this is because culturally we have been taught to not take up too much space and to collapse in instead of stepping out to protect ourselves. Whereas boys very often are taught to step up and stand up for yourself. Be a man, fight for your space, etc. Girls aren't taught to do that because we're taught to be nice. And so when our boundaries are stepped over and we feel unsafe, one of our default reactions is to collapse inwards and to do the freeze. And this is very, very common. I've done it, I know a lot of my girlfriends have done it, and I'm sure a lot of you watching this have done it too. So you will freeze. Very common response. The other thing is the nice girl, right? We don't want to cause waves. So if someone steps over one of our boundaries, we don't want to make them uncomfortable, even though they've made us uncomfortable. So we say nothing. We say nothing. We just keep quiet and we smile. Sometimes we do the nervous laugh. Have you done that? I have definitely done that. The nervous giggle when someone has kind of stepped over a boundary and we just feel like we need to make light of it. Instead of stepping up and saying, hey, that's not a respectful thing to say to me. I'm not okay with that. Because if we did take that step, we might be judged, we might be called difficult, we might be called aggressive, we might be called a bitch, we might be called all other kinds of names that would place us outside of what is culturally acceptable for a well-behaved, nice girl or woman to be. Is this sounding familiar to you? I'm talking about this stuff, to be honest, because it's stuff that I've been through. I just find that so many of us aren't taught how to set these boundaries, and we aren't taught how to maintain them. And it starts from that really young age, when we look around looking for someone to model what it looks like to set healthy boundaries, and we don't see it. So I guess what I want to leave you with today is this thought around, are you setting healthy boundaries? What are your boundaries? Are you setting those with people? And then are you maintaining them? What does that look like for you? And if you're not setting boundaries, if you feel fear around that, anxiety around that, keep an eye out for my next video, because I'm going to talk about how we can set healthy boundaries and maintain them in a way that helps us navigate the world more easily, and also helps to keep us living in a way that feels safe for us. So we can look after our best interests and be healthy and safe and protected. I hope to see you at the next video. Take care.